right, guys, what is going on? It's been a while, but we are taking a sales call today. So this prospect, he looks like he runs an HVAC company. It's on my calendar here. Filled out the application, HVAC. He's doing over $100,000 a month in current revenue. So sounds like he's a pretty qualified business to be working with. So let's go ahead and take this call and let's see how it goes. So you guys can kind of just follow along, see, I kind of have a little sales script in front of me, even though I don't really use it, but I'm just gonna have it there just in case I want to ask more probing questions. But let's see here. His name is Stanley. Let's see how it goes.
Hello, this is Stanley.
Hey, Stanley, it's Jordan. How you doing?
Good in yourself?
I'm doing good. Where are you calling from?
I'm in San Diego.
Okay, yeah, San Diego. Yeah, not too far from you then. I'm a little bit up north from you. I'm in Orange County.
I'm good friends with Frank, and so he was the one that kind of referred me. I've actually been kind of watching your videos like on YouTube. I know, yeah, YouTube, and just kind of learning and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to reach out because kind of want to allocate that to someone else. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it would just free up some time for me.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, we've been working with Frank. So yeah, I appreciate you, scheduling a call. What made you want to hop on a call with me today?
Honestly, the results, man. Just to be completely frank, I have an HVAC company, so I didn't know if you delve into HVAC too. I saw you have like a bunch of different like home services type stuff.
Right.
So I didn't know if you had like a HVAC company that you worked with before.
Yeah, I mean, we worked with HVAC companies before, and we work with a lot of home services niches in general. As far as like the system and process it goes, it's pretty relatively the same.
Yeah.
As far as with Google Ads stuff. But what are you currently doing as far as marketing right now?
So we do like we throw money around all places, and just kind of see what hits the best, and then we
Right.
kind of just like make adjustments based off that. We've done a lot of social media marketing. Facebook is kind of with all their new stuff. And I see it too sometimes in like your videos, like all the recommend recommended stuff is like crap. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's how they get you to spend more. That's why.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
that their platform is actually kind of becoming worse. Like it's harder to like target specific homeowners.
Right.
They took away like the living in option. You know what I mean? So it's just it hasn't. We're just looking to kind of like maybe allocate money elsewhere, and kind of delve. Obviously, all the big companies within our area, they're all on Google, obviously. So I think you need to be on Google to really maximize what
Right.
you could do and how to get your name out there. So
Yeah, absolutely. So you're saying that most of a majority of your marketing budget's been going towards Facebook ads?
yeah, for the most part, I mean, we've used a little bit like so. All the different channels we've used have been like, I mean, we don't really use shared services anymore, like Angie or anything like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
mean, every once in a while, like I'll forget to turn that thing off, and it'll come on, and sometimes I'll like try and work a lead from there. But pretty much just from our Google business profile, Yelp a little bit, kind of like pulled back on Yelp, kind of because it just wasn't that great. But Facebook, and then also kind of just getting into Google now at this point.
Yeah, I mean with Angie's List and some of those like shared leads platform, including like Yelp too, it's a lot of shared leads. And I mean you're kind of competing with like eight other people who contacted the same lead. So it's kind of tough, it's tough to work those leads. And then as far as like with Facebook ads, how long have you been running Facebook ads for?
So, I mean, me personally, like over 4 or 5 years. But we just started in April 2022. So,
April
I mean,
2022.
I launched them at the very beginning as well. So we've been, I mean, that was like our main source of leads for some time,
Right.
other than like, I'm probably, and Frank will admit this too, but I'm probably a little bit more advanced than Frank just with like marketing and just like business admin stuff in general.
Uh-huh.
Like I already have like a Go High Level CRM, so
Oh,
I've used that
perfect,
for like
perfect.
marketing campaigns. I actually do. So here's the thing, Jordan, like, and this is just being me frank with you. It's like, I already have, like some funnels that I made,
Mhm.
and I kind of tailored them a little bit off what I've seen, from your end and just some others out there.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a good click-through rate percentage,
Okay.
but as far as the conversions, that's where it falls kind of. So
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking, okay, is my ad set up wrong, or is there something on the funnel that could be converted that could make conversions better? You know what I mean? So I just kind of need little expertise. And again, I want to when it gets to summer, I'm not going to be able to do all this. And
Yeah, I mean things are gonna get
be out
pretty.
there.
Yeah, things are gonna speed
It's
up in
crazy.
summer. Yep. Yeah, and I mean we're
Yeah.
entering spring too, so I mean especially for HVAC, I think things are gonna really ramp up here. Now, when you're talking about your funnels and stuff like that, is your traffic coming from Google or from Facebook right now?
So from Google. So I've messed around with adding like the funnel as like a destination in Facebook, and it's worked a little bit, but I just feel like overall, I think the lead forms on Facebook is like the best. Like it just keeps them on that platform, you know what I mean? And they're able to just like submit it really easy. Like their info is already input in there
Yep.
typically when they, hit it. The one thing I do like about using the funnel a little bit is like obviously you could get like, so Facebook now, like they make you, if you mention anything about like system $99 a month or like any financing, they make you put like the special credit category or it'll get rejected, and then you have to basically
Yeah, you gotta verify
put
and
the,
do all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and you have to put the age all the way to 18. And let's be honest, like our consumer is probably 30 and above, like,
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, so that kind of stuff. So I use the funnel sometimes on Facebook, but usually I just use the lead forms,
Yeah.
on that
Yeah,
really.
with Facebook, I mean, with Facebook, the lead form is gonna work better just because people can kind of just fill out the form really quickly and it's already like pre-filled most of the time too, because Facebook already has the information.
Yeah.
But the thing with Facebook is, I mean, I don't know if you had the same experience, but with a lot of our clients that ran Facebook ads before, it's always a complaint of lead quality, right? Because it's so simple for people to fill out the form. A lot of those leads, I mean, you're kind of like reaching out and they're not really good leads. Like, are you able to close a majority of those leads that are coming from Facebook, or how's the lead quality look on your end?
So that's the thing is like the lead quality, it's not that great
Right.
overall. I would say that leads on Google that we've gotten, I mean, the contact rate is much better, the scheduling rate is much better, the close rate is probably higher. Because on Facebook, I mean, I did use some of your strategies on like Google where like, you exclude every other territory outside the one you're basically targeting.
Yep. Yep.
So I do that on Facebook now because before I was doing that, I would get like freaking leads in like, Arizona and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That just like
And you're
were
like, what the
visiting
heck?
out here. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then also too, I started adding like a probing question, like, are you the homeowner, on the leads form, just
Qualifying
to like,
questions. Yeah. Screening
yeah,
your leads. Yeah.
yeah, I just didn't want to put too many to make it too overwhelming, but then
Yeah.
I wanted to have at least one to like kind of maybe get Bobs out of there, I guess,
Yeah.
because there were so many people. Oh, I think request info, and I'm just like, what the fuck? All right, well,
Yeah, I mean, well, overall with Facebook ads, I mean, you're gonna get your cost, your cost per lead is gonna be a lot cheaper, and it's the reason for that is because the lead quality isn't as great, right? So you're gonna have to be wasting your time. I mean, spending your budget and kind of sorting through these leads to see if you can actually, yeah, work them and close them. And a lot of them are, they're just not good quality leads overall. With Google, you can actually scale your campaign really good or really well once you get things dialed in. And the cool thing about it too is that, these are people who are actively already looking for you on Google. So it's not like disruptive marketing on Facebook where you're trying to get their attention. On Google, they're already looking for you. So that's why the booking rate is much higher on Google. And I would say like 85 to 90% of the time, they're gonna just call you directly. So it's gonna be that much easier for you to book them in instead of them, filling out a form and then you have to follow up and go through that whole process of trying to book them in. Um, Now, as far as like, I know you mentioned that you've been running Google Ads for a little bit, or what's going on there?
yeah, you know what? So like when Frank started, it was kind of like when I just started like looking into Google more, and then we would kind of like share videos that we saw on. So I went through the one that you sent him in the email. Like I already found, and I went through with yours and kind of based the campaign off that, because to be honest, when I first did Google, which was like a year ago, I kind of got in that trap of doing like those ridiculous smart campaigns, which results.
Everyone does it. Everyone does it, brother. You're not the only one.
Yeah, so then I kind of just jumped into it because like we were doing pretty well, and I was like, well, let's just try and 10x this, let's get on this platform. And I saw some videos online on YouTube. I was like instructional, but obviously these guys, love Google and want to make them more money because they were just advertising or like promoting smart campaigns.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I have campaigns set up. It's just like I have one for like furnace, AC, and I've kind of targeted like specific niches. So like I have a funnel just for like a furnace, and I have a funnel just for AC, a funnel just for like mini splits. You know what I mean? So I've tried to like compartmentalize it, but I just think like I don't have like the full understanding to make it like really, really hit.
How long have you been running the ads for on Google?
Think about like a month or so, but that's another thing too, is like I did set up like conversions, but I don't think it's like fully set up.
Oh, the trackings, the tracking codes.
Yeah, the tracking. Like I set up like it in the what's it called? Like the head thing or whatever.
The header, yeah, the conversion tracking codes, yeah.
Yeah, and then also on like the thank you page of the funnel, but I don't think it's fully optimized, because when I go to test the URL in the ad, it doesn't show the tracking like kind of code.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, no worries.
There, but not there.
How much have you spent in the past month and a half or so on Google?
I would say probably maybe like 1,500 to 2,000, I think, or so.
Okay, I mean that's a fair starting on Google Ads.
And the first actual Google lead that we got, we closed. We probably made probably 4,000 off of it.
Perfect.
And I think another one from Google we did close. So it's just really a matter of getting those phone calls and the leads, because and not to toot our own horn, but to be honest with you, like we're a little bit of a smaller company, so we have a little bit more flexibility as far as like offering competitive prices compared to a lot of the big companies on Google.
Perfect.
So like when we get into if we're in a home compared to like a bigger company, because we're the owners, we kind of run the calls, people like that, and because our quotes are pretty competitive, like we pretty much close like 70%, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean we work with a family operated business too, and it's the same way. They're able to offer better rates than the bigger companies, and their closing rate is much higher because of that too. So that's great.
Yeah, so honestly for us, the biggest obstacle, and I think this is for like most businesses, is just getting in more doors, you know what I mean, and doing it as efficiently as possible through whatever marketing strategy that we were using.
Okay, so you spent about $1,500 to $2,000. You said, how many leads would you say that generated you?
I want to say maybe like 8 or so, 7 or 8 or something, I think.
7 to 8 leads.
I don't know. I didn't have conversions up at the beginning, so like I don't really have like the true, like if I log in and look, I think it only has like very minimal conversion, but I didn't have the tracking up.
Yeah, you gotta have tracking in place. Otherwise, you're flying blind on ads. You're not really knowing what works or what's not working. Now, as far as like services that you're trying to target, I know we're going in summertime, so I'm assuming AC, but what are the main services that you're trying to advertise?
So really like all HVAC services, so we would be able to handle. So like I think right now I have like a campaign for like furnaces, and I have a campaign for like AC. We do like I didn't make a funnel just yet for like tune-ups. I made a general funnel for like if someone was searching for like HVAC company or something like that, because I really don't know what they're searching for. So I have like a pretty simple funnel where it shows like all our services, like maintenance, repair, AC, heating, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But mainly I've just been running more targeted campaigns like furnace, AC. The furnace was the first one that we got the converted lead from.
Okay, you closed that one.
But yeah, we do all HVAC services.
Yeah.
So like repairs, maintenance, AC. mini splits, heat pumps, all that stuff.
Right. So yeah, we would need to break that up. As far as so for like your Google ads, I know you said you're not tracking anything right now, but the phone calls that did come in, let's just pretend that they did, like let's assume that some of them did come from Google. You said that you closed one from Furnace for sure. The other ones, do you know what they were inquiring about?
So I think it was the first one was for a furnace.
Okay.
Actually, the first two were from furnaces for furnaces.
Okay.
Pretty much went there and sold it right then and there. It was, I think, like a few weeks ago, so it was like a little bit colder. And then another one was some of them that we ran were for like full systems, AC. So I think usually what people might do is they might see like furnace or AC, and then but they're really kind of inquiring for maybe a full system. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah, they don't know that until you come by, right?
yeah, typically, like if the systems are installed at the same time. So if they're upgrading their AC, typically they're gonna do their furnace as well. So
Got it. Okay. So, as far as like your company right now, how many new customers are you guys trying to generate on a like a weekly basis? How many can you guys handle as of right now?
So yeah, so we want to get to anywhere from like I would say five to 5 to 10 jobs a week.
Okay.
Just because some jobs they could take like someone was redoing their duct work and stuff too. Those will take like maybe like 2 to 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just like a change out where we're taking out their AC and furnace and putting in a new one, that just takes a day.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two crews. So we're looking to the potentially if they do one each day, that'd be up to the 10 amount.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're bigger jobs, it may be on the lower side, like five or so.
Yeah,
So
it might
like
take a little bit longer to do.
yeah, exactly. So we're saying anywhere from 5 to 10, but to be honest, if we have more work than what we can handle per week, that's a problem we'll welcome, like an
Right.
extra we'd rather have. And sometimes we'll just either take a down payment from them to kind of like keep them at bay, or we'll say, hey, we can't get you this week, we'll get you next week, but for waiting, we'll take off $300 or something like that, just as an incentive so they don't go and try and shop our price around.
Right. Gotcha. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, as far as like, your sales system, it sounds like you got it like pretty much down. You just need calls coming in.
Exactly, yeah, because I have all automation set up. Like I have like, the form that I have on the funnel, like when someone submits it, it automatically texts them, like and emails them. So I'm like familiar with those automations and all that stuff. It's all like all set up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of like getting the calls, and getting the traffic, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So like I just want to be as clear as possible. So like if we were to work together, what would be your goals and expectations for this?
So pretty much just like on from what I can tell is just like more like better conversions, basically.
Better conversion.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I like learned from you, I mean, it seems like campaigns typically get better over time as you add like the native keywords and so forth. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
it really like
as you get
figure
more
in on.
data. Yeah, as you get more data from Google, the algorithm's gonna optimize based off of like what where you're getting your conversions from. So every time that your campaign is getting conversions, Google is gonna know, okay, this is what a conversion is at this time, what they're searching for. So over time, as you get more data, your account gets better in cost per lead and things like that. But that only works if you have the conversion tracking codes in place. Otherwise, you're not tracking conversions, and Google's not going to know if what's working, what's not working.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured they have some type of like AI data like Facebook uses to like, okay, this is what their customer looks like. This is what
Exactly.
working. Yeah, and then the other thing too, is we're actually expanding into plumbing too as well.
Okay.
So like most HVAC companies, they'll add in plumbing just because with HVAC there's seasonality no matter how big you are, really.
Yeah.
So we're gonna add that in. It's just probably, I mean, it seems like, I mean, from what Frank said, you got him like hella busy, like quick.
Yeah, we actually had to pause our ads out, and he was like, "Hey, man, like we're a little busy. Can we just pause it for the weekend and till we kind of get some things together again?" And we're like, "All right, cool." And his ad account is actually improving too because, like I said, as the ad account gets more data, your algorithm is just going to improve over time. So this month we're actually going to be expecting more calls for him. So I'm pretty excited about that. Do you cover all of San Diego, or like what parts do you service?
Yeah, so I'm in a similar area as Frank. He's like in towards the coast though, but we're like considered like North County San Diego. So um, we do all of San Diego. We do all of San Diego, and then we do parts of Riverside.
Mhm.
So we'll go
Oh.
as far as like Lake Elsinore, like in the inland part of Riverside.
Mhm.
We like to stay more so in San Diego. Just the reason why is like Riverside has some more like strict policies as far as equipment that has
Mhm.
to be used, and the equipment costs more. So like our profit margins are better in San Diego. It seems like San Diego people pay more too than like people in Temecula and Murrieta area.
Right, right.
So we try and kind of like stick to San Diego as our home base. Um, our Google business profile like is in, so our main location is in a city called San Marcos,
Mhm.
and we're really good as far as our business profile ranking there. But yeah, anywhere in San Diego County, really, we're down to do.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I mean, based off what you're telling us, I mean, this is exactly what we do, and we can definitely help you out with it. My team and us, we manage over $10 million in ad spend now. So we have a lot of data on what works and what doesn't. So that way you can just kind of skip the learning curve. We work with, like I said, we work with a lot of home service niches throughout the US. We actually have one in Los Angeles. And when he first started with us, he was only spending about like $5,000 a month in ads. Now we've actually been able to help him scale his campaign up to spending $150,000 per month in ads, and we're bringing him about like $500,000 in revenue per month on just the plumbing side. So, like I said, as far as the process and system goes, it's very similar throughout. I mean, we do the research, we look at competitor research, we build out your funnels, landing page, and all that good stuff. So we take care of everything in the back end for you. You don't have to do anything differently. You just need someone trained and available during ad hours, be able to pick up the phone and book the leads in pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I do on my end. So I kind of do like all the inside stuff. So like
Hmm.
as mentioned, like I have the automation set up, so like it sends them a text like right away. But then I usually will call them, or I could accept their call as well.
Hmm.
And I, followed your instructions like, hey, don't do 24 hours if no one's going to answer the phone. So that's one thing I do hate about Facebook is unless you put like a campaign budget, like it runs ads all night. And
Yeah, yeah.
last night I got one at like 9. So I didn't want to call, and of course, it's like just so much harder to get in touch with them the next day. Like the percentage drops. So I like on Google how you could put just like 7 to 7 or something like that. Like I
Yeah.
can always phone.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want the leads going to voicemail or like missing out, because they can literally just call the next ad, you know what I mean? And you're paying for that lead for no reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as like what we do, like I said, we set up everything in the back end for you. We set up your Google ads, we manage it. We build the funnels out for you. We also have the unique tracking systems in place. So everything's going to be trackable and measurable. We have a client portal where you'll be able to log into. And you'll be able to track all the phone calls that we generate for you. So you'll know exactly how many calls we generate for you. You'll be able to listen on the calls as well. And it typically takes us about a week and a half to put your campaign together. I mean, we'll just request access to your ad account, take a look at what you've been doing, what worked, what didn't work, and do our research. From there, we build out your campaign, which would take about a week and a half. And pretty much once we're done, we give you a heads up, you give us the green light, and you should start seeing phone calls come in within that same week.
Yeah, the one thing I was gonna ask because we do. I've heard you mention a few times like ClickFunnels and like Go High Level and stuff like that. Is there a way to like integrate Go High Level at all, or is it a completely different system that you guys use?
Um, I mean, they're essentially like the same system. They're just different companies.
Mhm.
We use ClickFunnels just because we've been using their platform for so long. Is
Yeah.
there a reason why you would want to use Go High Level, or does it not matter to you if we just take care of everything in the back end for you?
Oh no, I was just thinking because we have like our we already have like our what's it called? Like just
Automation.
some of our email automations and stuff like that in there. And it's just something we've used for like our whole client databases in there. I mean, I could always transfer stuff and whatnot, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one we've used for some time. One of my friends, he's a big time marketer. He's like a big affiliate for them.
Uh-huh.
And so he told me about it like years ago. So
Yeah, no, Go High Level is a great platform, and has great automations and things like that. It's just we've been building everything out for our clients on ClickFunnels, so that's already like really easily repeatable process and system for us, and that way we can
yeah.
just get things up quicker for you. And then as far as like automations, we're still working on automations on our end to kind of like improve things. But nonetheless, I mean, when a lead calls you, it's going to go to you directly, anyways. And if they fill out the contact form, that's going to be emailed directly to your intake team. And so you can kind of start automations around there, if, once it's sent to your intake team.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because basically, I mean, honestly, like I have those automations set up, but
Mhm.
in reality, like I'm like hitting them up instantly, like if they submitted the form, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So, I
like
mean, it doesn't
I,
even
I
matter. Yeah.
typically always, because I came from like a lead industry before
Mhm.
like getting this business, so I've always been ingrained speed of lead in my head, you know. So
Yeah.
I always give them usually almost 100% of the people I call within 5 minutes, you know,
Oh, that's
unless I'm like
perfect. That is
super tied down
perfect.
with my son or something. So
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, so I saw that like your as far as your goals, I mean, I know that you said that you're trying to get to about 10 leads per week and things like that. Like what is your revenue goal for, within like the next 4 to 6 months?
so that's a good question. So our first full year of business, we did 2 million.
Okay.
Um, so we did a pretty good beginning. Like we got some like accolades from our supplier, and that was really from that one main source, like using Facebook and referrals and just kind of like reaching out to like property management companies and things
Hmm.
like that. We worked with a flip company and stuff. So we're looking to, I don't know, as a revenue goal. I mean, because there's a little bit of seasonality, we always, at the very minimum, we want to hit like 150 a month.
150 a month.
But when
Okay.
it comes to summer, we want to double that. You
Oh
know what
yeah,
I
for
mean?
sure.
So, so yeah, I would. Right now, we're kind of hitting like 120, give or take, but we don't have any like real success with Google, let's say.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to get to, because if we, so an average ticket is about 10,000 in
Okay.
HVAC.
Hmm.
So if we do like, I don't know, if we do like five or six, if we do 5 jobs a week, let's say, you're looking at 50 grand for that week and 200 for the month. So
Hmm.
it's definitely attainable. It's just we need to get into more doors.
Yeah, I think you just need to I think once we get your Google campaign up and running, and once we get it optimized, dialed in, and we kind of know what we're targeting, what works and what doesn't, once things are dialed in, then you can start to really scale your campaign because you're gonna know what your exact numbers are. You're gonna know exactly what your cost per lead looks like, how many leads you need to close. You're gonna know what your closing rate is. And then from there, we can just make adjustments to your budget accordingly to meet your goals. So you'll know exactly how many leads you need to get every single month, how much you need to be spending to get those leads, in order to make X
Exactly.
amount of dollars in revenue. So I think the best thing to do here is just, like I said, get started with the campaign, get it up and running. And then from there, once we gather more data, not only is your Google campaign going to optimize over time with the algorithm, but you yourself, you're also going to know the numbers, and because it's measurable. And from there, we can kind of predict what we need to do next to hit our goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I would say like I'm not really 100% sure. I mean, I think we're going to close pretty good on Google. I mean, even traditionally with like Facebook, if we're in a door, we're usually like, I would say at the minimum, like 40%, I would say closed. So we're pretty good at closing. I think Google, it might go up a little bit just because I think we're probably going to be going against like some bigger companies. And we kind of see that as an advantage for us, just because of where we could be at price wise and so forth. And, we have the prices, but we're super like we have a lot of like presentation folders and so forth. So
Mhm.
we have the appearance of a big company as well. We've just done it in an affordable way, I guess you could
Yeah.
say.
I mean, no, I think that if you're able to close leads off of Facebook, then your closing rate should be it's going to be higher on Google because, like I said, they're calling you directly, right? So they're already
Yeah,
reaching out to you. So I think that makes the closing rate a lot easier than Facebook. So I mean, if you're having a 40% closing rate off Facebook, you should be pretty good, about the same or a little bit higher on Google's side. Now, as far as like with your Google campaign, do you know when you're trying to get it up and running by?
pretty much we're looking to get going like pretty soon. I mean, like where there's not really like a specific time frame. We're ready
Just the
for
sooner the
whenever.
better.
Yeah, so I mean, like this is something that we wanted to do, but we just want to go about things the right way. And obviously, there. I mean, you probably see it all the time. There's like thousands of marketers out there that like promise the world, but it's like I've seen you provide results for Frank, so like that's obviously reassuring because we definitely went through marketing agencies with like Facebook too as well, and it didn't really go well. I was doing better than them, but yeah, we want to like get into Google and again, if it's something that um is working and it's scalable and it's something off my plate, like
Yeah, I
there's
mean, it's
no
gonna save you a lot of time. Yeah. And you can just focus
yeah.
on working on growing your business. And that, I mean, that's why I like to create these YouTube videos so business owners can actually see our results and our exact system that, I'm literally walking you through what we do exactly in it. And we just take that off your plate. So, um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean, if we're trying to get it up as soon as possible, like I said, it does take us about a week to build out your campaign. I mean, the pretty much the next steps is what we would do is we would send you two forms. Number one, it's gonna be the proposal. It's gonna outline everything we're gonna do for you. And then the second form is just the onboarding form where you can fill out your business information. Once we get both of those forms back, we start building out your campaign. It'll take us about a week. And then once we're done, we give you the heads up. You give us the green light. We go live, and then we let the campaign start running.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that works. Because it's just me and my partner, but I pretty much handle like all the inside stuff. He's like, kind of like the project manager, so to speak. So he like oversees like installs and permit inspections and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you get that over to us, I'll go over with him, and then we can make a move going forward.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so let me go ahead and just let me just go ahead and just confirm your email here. I have .com.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll go ahead. I'll send you over the proposal, those two forms. I'll have our pricing and everything on there. So it's gonna be really clear. Do you have any other questions for me or anything like that? Concerns, questions?
Not really. Like I said, I talk to Frank like all the time,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I told him too, because he just does plumbing. I was like, hey, we're eventually going to get into plumbing too as well. But it's me and Frank are a different type of, like, some of my other friends are in HVAC too, and they're just like, I don't know, it's weird. Like they're like, they think that there's not enough business for everyone,
Hmm.
but like me and Frank think like it can actually help us both, you know what I mean? So eventually want to get into that, but yeah, I think you'd get us too busy for that. So kind of like maybe when we get into that, I could let you know, and we could target like maybe bigger ticket things like water heater replacements or something like that at the beginning, and then go from there from that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean that'd be perfect. I mean we're already working those campaigns for our clients right now too. So we already have data on that. But yeah, super cool. I'll get those two documents over to you right after this call. Do you know when you'll be able to go over that and get those documents back to us? That way we can kind of just prepare when I put together your campaign.
Yeah, more than likely, I'm gonna hit my partner up here tonight. So probably at the latest tomorrow. I would assume.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll send you both of those documents and then we'll talk then.
Okay, sounds good, Jordan.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. All right, guys. I think that's a pretty much a closed client. Um, I mean, pretty simple sales call. I think following the script, I did have a script in front of me. So I think what happened was I asked too many probing questions, right? I would ask my probing questions, and then during the closing, I asked more probing questions, and I realized I'm like, we don't need to be asking more probing questions. But I did genuinely want to understand his business more and understand like his situation a little bit better and what his goals were. Even though you got move those probing questions to the beginning a little bit more. I usually don't do that. It's just when I have a sales script in front, I usually just have to take the sales call straight off my head, and it's more smooth. And today I kind of like went through the sales script and I was like, oh, I want to ask this question. But nonetheless, I think he's going to be a really good client. He's a big client, $100,000 per month he's doing. So great client. Through it sounds like a referral as well. And as you can kind of tell, like he was pretty much already warmed up. And I had warmed him up even more before hopping on the sales call with him by sending him my exact system. Like, hey, check out my system. This is exactly what we're doing. And I think for most of you guys, um, that's I don't know if all you guys are doing it, but you guys need to be warming up your leads before you actually hop on the sales call. So a majority of the selling happens before the actual sales call. So you should be doing the selling before when you even hop on a call with them. By the time you hop on a call with them, it's more so to build trust, credibility, build rapport with your prospect, and talk as if you guys are already working together, right? Figuring out their pain points, what they're currently doing, what's not working, what is working, where they're trying to be, and then giving them the solution on the actual call. But before the call, they already know that you are the solution. You can help them, and the only way you can do that is by warming them up. So sending them your systems, sending them value, right? And you can hear yourself like he's seen my value. He knows what I can do. He knows what we've done. So the selling is always done before the actual sales call. A couple key points I kind of want to go over is basically on the sales call, right? It's a very simple. Number one is the intro part, right? It's just, hey, how you doing? Where you from? Cool. How's the weather? Blah blah blah. And then the transition question that I always ask in my sales calls are is what made you want to schedule a call with me today, right? And that's going to shift the mindset of the prospect of them reaching out to you for help instead of you as the marketing agency owner trying to sell them on something, right? So you're shifting that mindset of hey, I'm here to help you. So share with me why you are here today, right? So that's just a shift in mindset. um and I think that's really important to really set that mindset shift in the beginning of the call. From there, we go straight into probing questions, right? What are you currently doing? What's working? What's not working? Cool. Why do you think it's not working? Or why did you think it's work? Right? Just kind of hammering down a little bit more on what they're doing and having a better understanding of what it is that they're doing. Okay. So I asked a lot of probing questions. How much have you spent? What have you done? How many leads that generate you? How were the leads? Were you able to close them? Where do you service? What are your goals? How many more customers can you handle? What's your monthly revenue goal? What are your expectations of if we were to work together? And then from there, we just bridge the gap, right? I'm just giving him the solution. Hey, based off what you're telling me, this is something we can definitely help you out with. So we're going to build XYZ, which is present the solution. Okay, so he mentioned that, hey, we don't have conversion trackings in place, and we just need more calls, right? And I reassured him by saying that's something exactly what we do. We're currently already doing it, and we're gonna install trackings in place so that your Google's ad account can gather data and optimize its algorithm to improve over time, right? I think usually I don't really explain too much on how the system works. It's just I think with the sales script, it kind of confuses me a little bit more. But nonetheless, I think the sales script is still really, really good off what I said, right? I think the sales script it helped me ask more probing questions, and I think with that, prospects are going to feel like more understood, and you're actually taking the time to really understand their situation. So it's great to ask all the probing questions you need to have a clear understanding of their expectations and where they're currently at, and then where they're trying to get to. That way you can, on the fulfillment. So that way on the fulfillment side, you can actually get them really good results. We didn't talk about pricing. Usually I talk about pricing, but I think he already knows what my pricing is because his buddy already told him probably. So he didn't ask about pricing, but usually prospects will ask, okay, sounds good. What is the pricing? And then from there, we would give out our pricing. And then as far as like the closing part of the call is basically, hey, we have two forms that we're going to send over to you. As soon as we get both of those forms back, then we'll go ahead and start building out your campaign. And the key question that I always ask to end the call is, hey, do you know when you'll be able to get those forms back to us? So that way we can prep in building out your campaign. Now, that's a really important line in your sales call. Do you know when you'll be able to get both of those forms back to us? Is because now we're gaining somewhat of a commitment of the prospect wanting to move forward. If they said, "Hey, yep, we're gonna get it back by tomorrow," okay, so that means we know that not only do we know have expectations for our team like hey we're going to have work coming in tomorrow, but we also are gaining commitment from the prospect because he's saying that he's going to move forward tomorrow, essentially, right? If prospects are kind of like on the fence, they're going to say, oh, I'll probably get back like sometime this week or whatever. And you'll kind of gauge, basically, you're gauging their interest level. If they're serious about it, they're going to move forward and get those documents back to you a lot sooner. If they're not, then they are going to pretty much lag on it and say, hey, I'll get back to you this week or next week or whatever they want to say. Okay. And for those ones, you kind of understand like, okay, they're not so, you know, ready to move forward, and you can kind of ask more questions, more probing questions, or really get a better understanding of why their interest level is not there yet. Okay. So is it the pricing? Is it what is it, right? How can we get them to move a little bit faster? So um, then you would kind of figure out what their concerns are a little bit more. With this prospect, he didn't have too many objections. He just pretty much had questions, I would say, more so questions, not so objections. And I think it's just because we already warmed them up. We gave them um, our system. So I mean, he already kind of knows what works, right? And or yeah, he already knows our system, how it works, and it does work for his buddy because we've already done it for him. But yep, I mean that's our sales call. If you want to hear on more sales call, let me know. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys, and um, this will be a pretty solid new client for us.